Just like we highlighted in our video about retired 787 Dreamliners, the A350 is a modern, new generation clean sheet program which, in a perfect world, should not have any retired airframes. Spoiler alert, as far as we can tell, there are 0 A350s that entered service that have been retired or scrapped, unlike the handful of 787s we talked about previously. But there are still a few A350s that will never fly again, as well as one that never flew to begin with. Let's take a look at these few airframes as well as a few more that have been parked for extended periods of time for various interesting reasons. And so again, turning to the production list on planespotters.net, we can see that 3 A350 airframes will definitely never fly again, while one airframe never took off in the first place. That latter airframe has manufacturer serial number, or MSN 5000, and was delivered in November 2012. Why did it never take off? Well, in case you haven't guessed it, it was built to be a static test frame, assisting in Airbus's development of the type without conducting test flights. Planespotters.net states that this airframe was partially broken up in 2016 at Toulouse and was reduced to several fuselage sections. In addition to this, we have 2 airframes that are listed as preserved, MSNs 003 and 004, obviously testbed/prototypes for the A350 program. As far as we could tell, MSN 003 is parked outside Aeroscopia Museum at Toulouse Airport, and the airframe is said to be the starting point of Airbus's Toulouse production facilities tour. MSN 004 is said to be preserved at Tarbes-Lourdes-Pyrénées Airport, parked there since November 2024. It now serves as an instructional airframe for UIM Occitanie Adore Pyrénées, which appears to be some sort of industrial group. And the last A350 on our list that will never fly again is one that many will have seen going up in flames in early 2024. Of course, we're talking about the A350-900 operated by Japan Airlines, which collided with a Japan Coast Guard -8300 upon landing. The collision resulted in a nose gear collapse and engine fire. The right-hand engine continued to run during evacuation, and the aircraft was destroyed by the resulting fire. Sadly, this was the first A350 hull loss. So, as you can see, the list is far shorter than our 787 list. Because of this, we thought we would spotlight some A350 airframes that have been on the ground for extended periods of time due to various reasons, although they're mostly accidents. First up, there's the Finnair A350 with registration Oscar Hotel Lima Whiskey Hotel and MSN 097. The -900 has not flown since August 2025. And what happened in August 2025 to keep it on the ground? Well, one of the aircraft's wings hit a door whilst being towed to a maintenance hangar at Helsinki Airport. Next, there's the A350-900 with MSN 383 registered Romeo Alpha 73157. Said to be stored at Moscow Sheremetyevo Airport, it looks like this jet hasn't flown since 2023. Our best guess is that it's in need of parts that the airline is unable to acquire due to sanctions imposed on Russia for its invasion of Ukraine. Interestingly, of Aeroflot's 7 A350-900s, the other 6 appear to be active. Quite the accomplishment for an airline that technically shouldn't have been able to acquire spare parts for the past 3 years. Next is the nearly 5-year-old airframe with MSN 434 and registration Bravo Lima X-Ray Oscar. Operated by Cathay Pacific, it hasn't flown since November 2025. It was actually on November 26, 2025 at Hong Kong International Airport when the aircraft suffered a tail strike whilst performing a go-around. While the flight returned to the airport and landed safely, it has been stored at Hong Kong International ever since. Then there is the Japan Airlines A350-1000 with MSN 729 and registration Juliet Alpha 10 Whiskey Juliet. Just a little over half a year old, it was delivered to Japan Airlines in July 2025. And so it was on December 14, 2025 that the aircraft was involved in a ground collision with an Arkia Israeli Airlines Airbus A330-200 at New York JFK Airport. The collision took place whilst the A330 was being towed, with the right wing of the A330 hitting the left cockpit windows of the A350. The nearly new jet has been at JFK ever since. Tragic. And while it's only been about a month since the accident, one has to wonder how difficult it'll be to install a replacement windshield in addition to replacing any damaged avionics. Hopefully, the jet will return to service soon. But moving on, there's the airframe with MSN 443 and registration Delta Alpha Kilo Alpha Yankee. Technically designated as an A350, the jet is operated by German charter firm K5 Aviation. Planespotters.net states that the aircraft was stored at Euro Airport Basel-Mulhouse-Freiburg in 2021. We know that there are specialised MRO providers like Jet Aviation and AMAC Aerospace at this airport offering extensive VIP completions for private and business jets, but it does seem odd for the A350 to be on the ground for so long. A photo taken in November 2025 and posted to Jet Photos states that the aircraft has its first test flight in its new livery, so perhaps it's close to finishing its modification work and is just waiting for customers. To wrap things up, there are a few mysterious cases of A350s being parked for extended periods of time. No accidents, no cabin refurbishments that we know of. 2 are with Air China and have MSNs 167 and 455. These have been stored at Beijing Capital Airport, with the former being a little over 7.5 years old, while the latter is about 5 years of age at the time of making this video. Both haven't operated flights since late August/early September 2025 and appear to be the only 2 A350s out of 30 that are somewhat inactive. And then our final mystery case is the Vietnam Airlines A350-900 with MSN 173 and registration Victor November Alpha 895. This aircraft has not flown since October 2024. Yes, that's right, more than a year. Some aviation enthusiasts have flagged this jet's extended time on the ground, but no one has been able to explain the exact reason other than perhaps MRO and/or supply chain issues. But there's your look at some of the A350s that may not be taking to the skies anytime soon. We know that part shortages and supply chain issues have been affecting Airbus jets as well, and so this would explain why some jets aren't being repaired within a short time frame. Japan Airlines has simply had bad luck with the A350, as the -900 tragedy and the more recent -1000 ground collision were not the fault of the carrier. As we head into 2026, we can only hope that this will be a year free of hull losses, with grounded jets getting the parts needed to return to service. But what do you think is going on with those last few Airbus A350s? Do let us know by leaving a comment. In addition to our daily YouTube videos, Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles and a podcast every week. Visit simpleflying.com.